Okey-doke.
It is MIA.
Yeah, he's in the middle of his busy season right now.
All right, let's jump into it. Okay. Futures. First thing first, let's look at futures. Futures are trying to bounce. Again, the same exact thing that we saw yesterday. After the market close, uh, futures started to bounce yesterday, and because of that snap announcement, futures came back down. Did the same exact thing happen. Futures kind of rallied towards the end of the day, and I think we closed towards the highs of the day. The futures started to climb up all the way, and we recognize this pattern very easy. Comes down, gets overbought, comes down right into 5, right into 8, right into the mean of the 15 minute, and starting to bounce there. My expectation from futures right now is to come back in, break below its 21, and then perhaps test these numbers here, 3936 or something like that. This number 3936 has been acting as pretty decent support as well as resistance, and you can clearly see why. All the way from here it's been intact. This number has been intact there, and so my expectation is to come back for futures to come back into this number, test this number, and perhaps bounce from here. So my base case to the downside is let's yeah, 39 35, 39.35 is my base case to the downside. If it breaks below there, then we're looking for a push into 39.27. If it breaks below there, 3900 is a cycle level. So let's watch that to the downside and to the upside. For this chart, it says 39.65. My base case to the upside. If that breaks above that, then we're looking for 39.72. And this has been the range for quite, I think, since last Friday throughout, last Friday, yesterday, and today. That's been the range. So let's see if we can break above that range and start to push higher from there. 1 hour chart, clearly we can see here what is happening. Futures pinned below a 200 moving average. Same exact thing that we're seeing right now as well. The futures are being pinned below this 200 moving average, and I think this needs to continue for a while at least. It's right now it's supporting the five, supported by the five right now, and I'm expecting it to be supported by the five. And if it breaks below there, we are looking for a push into 8, 39.42. And then if it breaks below there, then we're looking for this number 39.35. So let me put it this way now. On this chart, the 1 hour chart, this is the chart that I follow for my trading, day trading. So right now, if it breaks below here, then this is my base case. 39.43 is my base case. If that breaks below, then we are looking for this 39.35 number. This is my good to have. So now if it breaks below there, then we're looking for a clear push into the mean and the 39.26. Then we're looking for a hit of 39.20. And if that breaks, then we're looking for a decent push into this 38.93. Let's round it up at 3900. If 39 breaks, then we're looking for a push into 38.72, the lows from today. This is how it's going to go to the downside. The upside, well, actually there is a pretty decent case that's being developed right now to the upside. So 39.63 is perhaps my base case to the upside. If we break above that, then we are looking for a push into this 39.78 number. However, there's a bull case being built right now that S&P can actually run 100 points to the upside. Why is that possible? And the reason for that is the weekly chart. Weekly chart seems to be gaining momentum to the upside, and the 5 is sitting at about 40.35. So it's about 100 points from where we closed today. and most likely we should get that. Yeah, most likely this will happen. 100 points to the upside, and on the on the regular candles it is 40.35, and on the high Kanashi side it is 40.59. So give or take that number within the range of let's say 40.55, and here 40.35. So that range is most likely that is where S&P is pushing into now. Again, for that to happen on the daily, this needs to be clear, and we can see that the pattern, we can see that the movement is sort of bullish, taking a bullish turn here, and SMI is still pointing to the upside, and MACD is trying to cross to the upside. So this is giving me hope that we are going to hit this number again. We're going to test the 8 again. We're going to break the 8 and most likely push into this number, about 4,000, and then we are going to push into the mean at about 40.41 or something. And that's the reason I'm looking for this 100-point rally on the S&P. And the thing that I want to be posting, I want to be playing is, I think a better play is Qs here rather than S&P. We could look for the Qs, or we could look for industrials. I don't know. Tomorrow we'll decide that. Tomorrow, whichever whichever one would have more volume, we'll go with that. And let's see. The volume is trying to build up. Nothing crazy, but it is okay here. So we'll stick to the S&P is followed widely, so we'll stick to it. However, if you are into playing something else, yeah, you could look for Qs, or you could even look for IWM or TNA for that matter. Right now, let's look at SPX. Where did we close today? Right about here, 39.40, about 30 points down from yesterday's close. And even this close was quite dramatic. Towards the end, we pulled up into that close. But highs of the day are about here, 39.50 to I think 39.56. So my expectation is right now, if the markets were closed, if the markets were open, it's trading somewhere around here, right about here. They're still pinned below this super trend here, and I think for the markets to break above here, I think it's time it will break above here. That's what I'm seeing here. And then my base case, if the markets were to be opened now, this 200 moving average would be my immediate base case, 39.59, and then perhaps the number that we've been looking into, 39.65 to 39.75 range. That's a range to the upside. I'll look for that in a minute. But what's the downside? If the markets were playing here, then the downside would be this 39.36. Again, remember this number 39.36? Yeah, the same number. So the 50 is sitting here, and my expectation would be if the markets were to be open and playing here around this number, then my expectation to the downside would be 39.35, which is where the 50 is sitting. If that breaks below there, then we're looking for a hit of 30, 39.31. Most likely it would have broken that. Then we're looking for a push into 39.23. The mean is sitting at 39.16. And most likely after that, we're looking for 3900. That would be a psych level. There's no level to support that, but I'm sure on the 1 hour we'll figure it out. But this is the immediate play if I were playing it right now. And let's go on the 1 hour chart. This is a chart that I follow for the most part. So this is exactly where markets would be trading right now. Exactly here, 39.53. This is the range that markets are trading right now in. So if it clears here, then 39.57. If it clears 39.57, then this would be my base case right about here, 39.79. And if it cleared there, then we are looking for a good to have would be 4,000, right? And if 4,000 clears, we are looking for 40.45 or something like that. And that we'll figure out on the daily time frame. But right now, this would be my base case to the upside, 39.78, and my good to have would be 4,000. To the downside, This is where my downside would be. 39, or rather, this is where my downside should be, because this is a more powerful average here, 39.36 or 39.35. This would be my base case to the downside. And if it slips below there, 39.23, then probably 39.11 and 3900. And let's round this up at 3900. If it breaks below 3900, we're looking for days lows, 38.76. If that breaks below there, I don't see a reason to break below here. I don't see a reason even to come down into 3900, because the momentum is picking up to the upside. So I think we will break to the upside, even if it comes down to this number, 39.20s or something like that. I think it should bounce to the upside. And the reason for that bounce is this here. I think the SMI has a room to the upside, and MACD is crossing over. So that's the reason I'm looking for the upside, and probably in tomorrow's session. And probably we're looking for this number. So tomorrow, my understanding is the markets will open above its 5, most likely close to today's highs. And 39.63, if we can clear this number, 8 on the daily, then we're looking for a push into this number, 4,000. And that is again very consistent with the hourly chart. If we can clear, this is the base case, 39.79. If it clears that, then we're looking for a push into 4,000. So what after that? If it clears there, then we're looking for a push into 4,016, and then perhaps we're looking for a hit of 40.58. And this is the reason I'm looking for that 100-point rally. And what will get us there? Obviously, this guy. Towards the end of the day, yesterday it rallied, and today also Apple rallied, and Apple is trading higher in after hours today. And most likely we will continue that push to the upside. And tomorrow, I think it wouldn't surprise me to see Apple at the 8 tomorrow, if Apple opens at the 8, 142.80 or something like that. And if it can start to push up into 147, well, not really. Let's go with the 1 hour chart to have more clear picture. So yeah, Apple closed somewhere around here, 140.70 or something. Then my base case to the upside would be these dots here, 141.23 or something like that. If it clears there, then we're looking for a push into this number, 142.20s. 142.25, and it's been rejecting that number for a bit now. So let's see if it can get here, 142.25, 142.26. If that clears, then we're looking for a push into 142.92. Not plotting anything above 142.92. Let's round that up at 143. Not plotting anything beyond that right now. However, if it starts to clear there, then we are looking for a decent push up into uh, right about this number, 144. Right? So 144 should act as a decent resistance. And if it clears here, then we are looking for a clean push into this number at 145. I don't believe it's going to happen just yet. At least in the first half of the session, I don't believe this will happen. But later part of the session, there is a very good chance that we're going to come back into this number. 143 and 144 will be tested later part of the session. So keep an eye on this one. For some reason, Amazon is still unable to break below 2000. I was expecting it to break below 2000 today, but that didn't happen. So I'm expecting Amazon to come back into that 2100 level right about here. So on the hourly chart, this is telling you that it's going to go into this level, 2100. If everything goes well, then we're looking for a push into this one, 2120. Right now, not really plotting anything above that, but if it actually starts to push up alongside Apple, then we're looking for a push into 2140, 2150 range. Uh, this is an active trade. You can actively trade Amazon, but be careful. You need to have an account size for that and understanding of how to exit a trade without getting caught into that trade. Tesla. Tesla is another one that we traded actively today. My expectation from Tesla was to go back and test this number 614 and perhaps all the way here 600, right? But that did not happen. Tesla kind of bounced, Apple bounced, Tesla bounced along with it. Did not like that price action, and most likely I think Tesla, if it can clear the 5 or 8 here, then we are looking for a push into the mean about 640, 650. But eventually I think Tesla needs to come back in and start to push into, most likely these numbers. Right now, not plotting that. However, we want to see Tesla come back into this number here, right about here, 592 or something like that. And this needs to happen. It's pretty close, and it's gravitated towards that. Most likely tomorrow's session, if Apple can hold on for pushing to the upper side for a little bit longer, then most likely Tesla will test this number tomorrow and bounce off of this number. So two ways you can play this game. You can look for a Tesla, active trade to this downside, and if it's doing that right at the open or pre-markets, we could actually look to sell puts around here and capture that premium. Be mindful, tomorrow is FOMC. So after FOMC, pre FOMC, I'm thinking that it's going to be a pretty dull day. But after FOMC meeting minutes come out, then it might get a little bit volatile uh, for that later part of the day. So later part of the day, it will be. I'm expecting it to be quite eventful. Maybe a push up, probably that 100 points that we're looking for the upside, we might actually get that. So I don't know how it's going to play out, but let's see how that goes. 10-year is another metric that I'm watching, as expected. For the charts, it is coming down, and most likely it will come back into this number 266. That's what the monthly chart is suggesting. And if it breaks below there, then we're looking for a decent pushback into 2.42. I don't want to see this happen, but the charts are telling you that. But let's go into the weekly chart. Yeah, the weekly chart is starting to come back in. Uh, and we are kind of hinging on the 8 here. If it that breaks below, then we're looking for a push down into 2.5. Am I plotting that right now? Absolutely not. I don't want to see that happen. However, the MACD is about to cross over here. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. So let's see how that plays out. And on the daily, this is exactly what we are looking for. We got that hit of this super trend, and it bounced back on that, and it's left at 5 here. So it needs to go back and test this number, 2.8, or the 5 needs to come back in to come back into this number right about here. If it starts to push back down, this is the bottom. We are looking for 2.72, a hit of 2.72 or something like that. This time, if it tests this super trend, it will break below it, come back into its 50. That's sitting about 2.71. And probably the chances of it breaking below that are better than going up if it actually comes back below this number. And then we are looking for a hit of 2.62. Most likely this would be a good bounce spot. Again, 2.68, sorry, it's 2.682. Probably this would be a good bounce spot, and if it starts to come back down and like that, then it's going to be troublesome. And the other thing that I've been watching, just like many other investors or traders, is this line, these lines, 8 and 21. 8 below 21 has happened, followed by a giant red candle, right? So this is not a good thing. 8 below 21. So anytime you see that happen, this is still just two candles, but still very problematic. Did not reject that 21 and did not push to the upside. I'm still hopeful that it's this cross or below is ephemeral and it starts to push up. I'm hopeful about that, but it doesn't seem like that's happening. And let's see what FOMC does. If FOMC meeting, kind of suggests that more than 50 bips is coming from Fed, then this might actually reverse and push to the upside. Even in that case, you'll see tech getting crushed, and even if it comes down, you'll see tech getting markets getting crushed overall. So let's see how that works out. Uh, any other data points that we are looking for? Bitcoin is seemingly okay here. It's not trying to push below, and it's stuck in a range pretty much. It's not trying to do anything extraordinary here, but it's kind of hovering around that 30,000 mark. I would actually want to see a test of mean now. Enough is enough. It's been a while that it has tested 4th of May about here, rather here. I think 5th of May is where it was at the mean, and it's the mean reversion hasn't taken place for quite a bit now. I think the mean reversion needs to take place, and perhaps clear the mean and test that 31.5 number now, and then after that push down. So let's see how that works. MACD crossover has actually happened on the daily. MACD crossover took place here. So I'm looking for a follow through on this. Right now, we're not seeing a lot of buying in crypto, obviously for obvious reasons. So and there's been a lot of negative talk about crypto in recent times from big names like Lagarde and you have Mr. Buffett, of course, and you have Mr. Gates and all of them. So there are a lot of negative comments coming out of many big people. So let's see how that affects crypto. So far, it's still holding this 30 range. My expectation is obviously for it to come back into 25 and then probably go back into this number here, right about here, 22. This is what I'm expecting to happen, right? So let's see how that plays out. But then again, it's is it going to go here before it comes here? That's the thing that we remains to be seen. Is it going to go to the 5 on the weekly and test this number before it comes back down to the 200? That remains to be seen. But this needs to happen. This is way too much. This needs to happen. Just like we are waiting on Apple to come back in. So same thing. All right. Any other data point that we need to touch upon? Where between the last what I've done, spike and fixing my psychological the trader's journey. Nice. Trusting the process, applying risk. All right. So let's let's uh, let's stop this here, and we'll look at that. We'll look at the same thing again tomorrow morning. I am surprised that actually Facebook is holding up as much as it is holding. My expectation was Facebook to actually push down into this number today, 171 or something like that. It did not happen. Not happy about it. Not really happy about it. Came down till 176. Should have tested this number. Should have done it. So yes, Erwin, that thing needs to die. That thing needs to die. That'd be nice. Right, so let's stop this here and let's do this tomorrow again.